What's going on, everybody? We are back from the dead. I am the BrettMan, and this is my co-host Destiny. Destiny, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I've had breakfast, so that's a plus.
Hey, breakfast is the most important part of the meal, so I'm glad you got your breakfast in. We got a pretty good episode of Back from the Dead today, and I understand it is Super Bowl Sunday, so if everybody's getting their pregame partying in, we totally understand. We're gonna get through this episode today, so we can send y'all back to your Super Bowl activities. So, Destiny, I know you're not a Super Bowl person or a football fanatic or anything like that, but are you going to at least try to watch it or like watch the commercials, the halftime show with Rihanna? What are your plans for today?
Not, no, none of that really.
Uh,
We
no,
don't have like cable, so I can't even like watch it. I'll watch like the commercials when they're uploaded.
mm-hmm.
I'll do that, but we're not gonna really watch it.
Not going to really watch it. So there you go. And most important question of all, even though I know you don't give two damns, who do you think's going to win the Super Bowl?
I don't even know who the fuck is in the Super Bowl.
The Chiefs are playing, which is my favorite team, and the Philadelphia Eagles. If you were just to guess, it's not going to hurt my feelings.
Rihanna.
Okay, there we go. I will accept that answer because a lot of people are going to be super excited for Rihanna at the halftime show, especially coming back after a long absence without recording an album. So everybody's just curious how she's doing. Can she still sing? Which I know she can. So I'm so looking forward to it. Of course, everybody knows I'm from the Kansas City Chiefs. So Chief on, guys. So we're done talking about football. We're going to go ahead and get started after saying hello to the chats. We got Lamontre, what's going on? We got Yo Adrian, how you doing? We got Ashton, what's going on? He threatened to slap me earlier if the Chiefs don't win, so hopefully he don't slap me. We got Rosie. Here's your rose, my dear. Hopefully you're doing good. We got Mark Jones, what's going on? We got Mud Nelson and Gavin, what's going on? Anybody else here? Let's see here. Da, 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 da. All right, I think we are solid and good to go. So, pretty much, if you're new here, what Back from the Dead is we celebrate horror movie anniversaries, and we can't do all of them, or else we'll be here for 4 or 5 hours. So, we decided to split them up like into integrals of five to focusing on those. So, like for example, we're going to be dealing with like pretty much this year we're dealing with the end numbers of 8 and 3, so that could be like 2018, 2003, and etc and all that. With We're also going to include last year's anniversaries as well, because we feel like that we should respect those movies that have a 1 year anniversary. And gosh, we got some freaking brutal ones on those 1 year anniversaries. So with that, oh, and Chad is sick. Why are you sick, Chad? Are you just freaking nervous, or what is it, Chad? Speak to me. He usually speaks to me on that. So, anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started from the 70s. And I found one, and this is one that I'm kind of always been curious about. It's kind of popular, one of the most popular movies in the 70s, and that is going to be Eraserhead, that was released on February the 3rd of 1978. Really strong numbers all around the board. If you're curious of watching this, which I'm pretty much adding this to my watch list on HBO Max. Desi, have you heard about this movie, or do you have like any interest in this movie?
I have heard of it. I haven't seen it. I know it's kind of one of those movies that are like, I'm not gonna say like film bro-y, but it's like one of those like, like, oh, you haven't seen like Eraserhead. I haven't seen it. I do want to. It's just, I think it's a movie I have to be in the mood for,
Mm-hmm.
and I haven't really found the mood for it. So
Especially in a black and white movie, which I know we've talked about that before, but just as a refresher, do you mind black and white movies?
I like them. Um, I haven't seen that many. I mean, Night of the Living Dead and Spider Baby. I think Peeping Tom was in color, but Psycho was Peeping. Yeah, Peeping Tom was in color.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've seen a few here and there. I like them. It's kind of like It's just interesting, really.
Mm-hmm. And I'll be honest with you, I have no idea what Eraserhead is about. I could have sworn it was just about a guy that erases people's heads. But honestly, I have no idea what it's about. Do you have any idea what it's about?
No, but I know it's David Lynch that did it. So
Oh, okay. So, okay, that is a big plus right there. So,
yeah,
definitely we will add Eraserhead to our watch list in the future, and hopefully we can check it out. Uh, see some more people hopping in here. Metallic, what's going on? And Chaz said
yeah,
Eraserhead is weird as fuck. I have absolutely no doubts about that. And then Fachi, I'm going to ignore your first comment and just pull up your second one saying, "Hey everyone, what's going on, Fachi?" Let's see here. Oh, this is a very grim black and white movie. Uh-oh. Not so sure about that. I like a more brighter black and white movie, if that makes any sense.
yeah. I accidentally just saw a spoiler for it at the end
Oh, did you?
because the question was like, "How disturbing is Eraserhead?" So I was like reading it. I was like, "Okay, okay." Then it said the end. I was like, "Why did you say that?" You didn't have to
What's
say
it
what
in the?
happened.
Oh, I said, what's in the chat or?
No, it was on. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
like looking it up.
Oh,
Then
I guess they
no,
wanted to spoil it just because you ain't missing much. But it's very high again, very highly rated in Letterbox. So that's why I figure I'd throw it on there just to see if anybody else has heard of it.
yeah, I'll watch it at some point. Definitely.
There you go. And same here too, because I definitely need to check out those Universal monster movies as well. So that is all I have for the 70s. Did you find anything secretive in the 70s?
No.
Okay, so we are going to go on to 1983, and I understand, like from the recent episode or the video of "In Search of Darkness" Part 3, they talked to Madman coming out in '82. But from my research, that's kind of like the festival circuit and all that. But it got its actual release, like in the theater, in '83, so that's why I count it. And that is going to be Madman, released in the theaters on February the 18th. And first off, the poster alone just gets me really interested about this movie. So, Desi, have you seen this movie at all?
Yes, and it's so boring.
Oh gosh.
It is so boring. Like I swear half of it is just like them walking around in the woods.
Oh
It's just
no.
like it was so disappointing. Cuz like I love slashers and I love 80s slashers, so I gave it a try after it being on my watch list for a while. And I was just like skipping 10 seconds, like 10 seconds cuz it was just them walking around like it was nothing. So, was not a fan.
Please tell me at least the kills were pretty decent.
I can't even. All I remember is one kill where someone was like hanging from a tree, and that was it.
Oh
Like
gosh,
it's so just not a memorable movie.
that's not a good thing. If you can't even remember a kill in the movie,
Mm.
so yikes. I'll check it out at some point because I want to like check out those In Search of Darkness movies that they recommend. Like they wouldn't recommend them if they didn't think they had somewhat interest or special like ism to it. So you might never know. I might like it, but your description of it and you love your '80s movies. I am not looking forward to it. So I'm gonna kind of knock it down a few pegs on the watch list.
Yeah, that's best.
That's that's as nicely as she could put it. That would be the smart thing to do. And Ben Grimm says, "What's going?" Or he's welcome Ben Grimm saying, "Madman makes me mad, man." Dadgummit, that's my job to throw puns out there.
I
Dadgummit.
feel that
Uh,
though. It's just like so because like I listened to the Horror Virgin podcast and they covered this movie and they're saying how like it's so bad, it's like funny and they're just like laughing the whole time. So I was expecting that. And I went in, I was just like, where's the fun? I thought this was fun. Like it just was not good. I was just like, oh my God, please something happened. Like Sleepaway Camp to me is so bad it's good. And
mhm.
I'm constantly engaged. This movie, I was just like, I would rather do anything else right now than finish this movie. But I finished it barely, but I did.
Because you're absolutely a trooper. You know what? We appreciate you. Or as one of my lines of the channel, hunt for the bad reels, so you all don't have to. So thank you for your service on that. And even Ashton says, when Destiny says that a movie is boring, you know it's a skip.
For real, because don't get me wrong, like I like a lot of trash. Like I love a lot of just bad movies. I love them. But I don't know how this quote exactly goes, but it's like there's like you can never make a bad movie, but you can make a boring movie. And like if you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna be bad, you at least need to not be boring. It can't be both. I can
Exactly.
handle a bad movie that is enjoyable to watch and just have a fun time. Like there's a movie coming down way later on this list that is so bad, but it's at least entertaining. This movie is just not that.
Okay, now you got me curious what movie you're talking about. But you kind of already mentioned Sleepaway Camp, so I figure like real quickly that is a very nice segue to the next movie, and the movie that you actually told me to watch because we do try to find movies that each other have not watched that we are going to cover today. And this is the one Destiny picked me, and I'm shocked I've never seen this until like this morning, and that's Sleepaway Camp 2 Unhappy Campers was released on February the 28th of 1988, and this movie was also covered in Search of Darkness Part 3 too. So they do a great job like going into this movie. And my first thoughts about this movie, kind of like you said, it is so dumb, but it's absolutely a good time. You can't help but to really enjoy this movie. And I got her name right here because unfortunately, Felissa Rose, the beautiful Felissa Rose, is not in this movie because at that time she didn't like the direction that this franchise was going to go, so she bounced. Great, sort of great decision. I would have loved to see her back, but that is Pamela Springsteen, and yeah, and I thought she did an absolutely great job for what she was asked to do and was given to do. And she decided to bring a different Angela that makes it more fun and corny. And holy crap, was it corny at times? Was the practical effects bad at times? Absolutely. But you can't help that the best kill in the movie is the unfortunate like bathroom killing the bitch of the movie. And that's the one that just will stick in my brain for the freaking rest of time. Not a leech, that particular scene. So, Destiny, your thoughts about Sleepaway Camp 2?
I think it's a lot of fun. It's definitely different, than the original, and the original is one of my favorites. But this does go like such a different direction, which I think it's good that it did because, you're not going to be able to replicate the first Sleepaway Camp. Like that movie is just so out there. Like that would not be replicated. So they went this direction and they decided to make it more intentionally funny because I feel like Sleepaway Camp is not intentionally funny. It's played so serious that it makes it funny. But this, they went more of like a comedy route. And with Pamela Springsteen playing Angela, I think she does such a great job at making it feel completely like different. Like it doesn't feel like the same Angela at all, which I'm
Right.
glad that they didn't do that because I feel like this is Pamela's Angela is what this movie needs. And it has some like you said, cheesy effects. Same thing as the original, though. Some of the practical effects from the original are really not that great, but it still works. And the characters are fun. The ending is hilarious. I like your like final girl that's in the movie. I think she's really good.
Mm-hmm.
Um, my favorite line from this movie though is at the end where Angela's getting into like that truck with that lady. She's like, "Ain't no skin off my tits." That is so great. And yeah, I think this movie is just a lot of fun.
Definitely, it's a lot of fun, and I give it easily a 3 out of 5. Like, if you could be like so damn corny and bad that it's so good to watch and it's just so entertaining to watch, definitely it's automatically a 3 out of 5 for me. So I definitely give Sleepaway Camp 2 the 3 out of 5.
Yeah, that's pretty
See.
reasonable.
Oh yeah, and try to look at the catch up with the chat real quick. Cody Snyder just joined. What's going on, Cody Snyder? How are you doing? And Ashton says he only seen the original Sleepaway Camp. So Ashton, I challenge you to watch the rest of them because I plan on to very easily because I want to see how the third one is.
Ooh, Now I have
Not
not seen the third one. I've only seen the kill count, but it's kind of like they pushed Sleepaway Camp 2 and 3. Like they filmed them like back to back, super rushed. You can definitely feel that, and it's not as fun as this. I mean, I've only seen the kill count, but sometimes you can tell. But Pamela Springsteen's in it, so there's something
so
at
at least
least.
that saves the movie a little bit.
Yeah, you have that, but I don't know.
And then Chad says those shorts in Sleepaway Camp were very serious.
I think we need to
Hey,
bring them back.
damn right we do. Chad, how about you freaking sponsor one of those freaking shorts, man? Be a man, wear those shorts. And the last thing I want to address with Sleepaway Camp 2, I'm pulling it back up real quick. How fun is that poster right there?
I love the poster, even though I mean you do see like the Freddy glove and the hockey mask, and you have the little chainsaw right there. I don't know who that lady is though, because that's not
That's
Pamela
not Pamela
Springsteen.
Springsteen. No, that is a great question. Who the hell is she?
I
Oh
do not
man, but
know, but love the pose, love the poster.
oh yeah, I do absolutely do too. Just wanted to point that out real quick. And that's the only thing I found in the 80s. Did you find any other 80s movies?
I have two from 1988. Well, I haven't seen either of them, but whatever. The first one is Slugs that came out on February 5th.
Okay.
So, horror movie about slugs. I know, like, especially in the 70s, I would say there was like a lot of like environmental type horror where it's like
Mhm.
there's like the movie Frogs, and then there's like Wasps, and like where these bugs are like taking over. So, there's that, which I thought was pretty cool. And then also from 88, The Serpent and the Rainbow. I wanted to
Oh,
watch
I've heard
this
that one.
because it was on Shudder for a while, and I went to watch it, and then I never got around to it. But it's directed by Wes Craven, so it's one of like Wes Craven's movies I haven't seen.
Hmm.
I don't really know anything about it though. I just know the poster. The poster looks pretty cool, so I want to watch that at some point whenever it gets added back on.
Oh, I finally remember where I heard that movie from. It's from the Cursed Films 2. They did an episode about it. And then even again In Search of Darkness 3 covered it too.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll get to learn a lot about that movie with just those two particular shows about it. So that's where I heard about it. So let's see here. Is there a comment you see?
Uh, let's see. Mud said, "Ooh, I love Slug." Same director from Pieces. That is
Ooh.
interesting because I do enjoy
Okay.
Pieces.
Well, dadgummit, Gavin, you bastard!
Bastard.
My only favorite thing about, even though the practical effects in Pieces was fantastic too,
That's the
and
movie.
oh, absolutely, especially the that one particular kill. Tommy Knocker, the horror guy, what's going on, my friend? Saying, "What's up, everybody?" My birthday was Friday. I tend to remember February movie releases to kind of suck, but maybe your picks will change my memory. Well, again, that's what this whole show is about. And happy very belated birthday, Tommy Knocker.
Yeah, happy late birthday, but happy birthday nonetheless.
Yeah, and we just hope it's a great one, man. And hopefully you spread some of your birthday cheer, blew out your candle, and wish for the Kansas City Chiefs to win. Okay, that was the last time, I promise. Sorry, I'm very nervous right now about that game. But anyways, and Mega Movie C's, what's going on, my friend?
Hey, Michael.
So let's see here. Oh, and that was the only two movies from the 80s you found, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great. So we're going to go ahead and enter the 90s. And let's see here. Let me pull up my notes real quick just to make sure. Okay, perfect. These three movies I found in 1993. And the first one is going to be I am missing one of my posters, unfortunately. So I'll load it as you're discussing both of these. Oh, actually, I found it right here. Excellent. Okay, well, the first movie is The Vanishing. That came out on February the 5th of 1993. As you can kind of already notice, one particular person on the poster right here playing. He saw him in The Lost Boys. For some reason, I cannot think of his name right now.
Keeper
But
Sutherland.
Yes, Sutherland. Yeah, that's our freaking vampire man. So he's in this movie, The Vanishing. Oh, not bad numbers, but not great. That came out in '93. The next one is Brain Dead, or as some other people call it, Dead or Alive. Actually, happy birthday today to this movie. Freaking excellent. And Jason from Sinister Simbas has told me to really watch this damn movie. Unfortunately, that was 2 years ago, and I've still yet to watch this movie. And hopefully, I'm trying to change it, but this movie is so hard to find. So hopefully, when I find it, I can watch this movie immediately. And then lastly, Army of Darkness, the third movie in the Evil Dead franchise, came out on February the 19th of 1993 with some groovy numbers here. So, Destiny, what do you think about all three of these movies?
Well, I've only seen Army of Darkness, even though Brain Dead is definitely one of my like on the top of my watch list, but like you said, it is hard to find. And so I just haven't been able to see it yet. I haven't even heard of The Vanishing. It just sounds like one of those 90s thrillers because thrillers were really popular in the 90s. And Army of Darkness is my least favorite of the Evil Dead movies. I am just not a fan of Army of Darkness. It's not for me at all.
So, pretty much, you're the serious Evil Dead fan versus kind of like the fun and jokey Evil Dead fan.
Yeah, like the original was my favorite. My second favorite's 2013,
Hmm.
then Evil Dead 2, and then Army of Darkness. I prefer definitely more serious, actual like scary. It just got way too goofy for me.
Hmm.
Like I don't like period piece movies really, and especially medieval stuff. Not a fan of any of that. So like going into it, I already kind of knew like, okay, I probably won't be a huge fan of this because even with Evil Dead 2, whenever I watched it, I was like, okay, you're starting to already lose me, which I know people love those movies, but they're just not for me. That's fine.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I'm a serious Evil Dead fan too. Even though as of like my previous watches, like long ago, I do have Evil Dead 2 as my second. But with our feature, like me and Brad's feature review series coming up on Evil Dead franchise, leading up to the new one being released, just have a really good feeling that the remake is going to overtake the second one. For me, I just have that strong feeling because again, I'm a serious Evil Dead fan too because like it's not that Army of Darkness and Evil Dead 2 are bad movies. Kind of like you said, there's just like not the style that we look for when it comes to the terms of Evil Dead. So I 100% agree with you on that. And I saw, I'm seeing a couple of comments here. Chad says, Army of Darkness, this is my boomstick. That's a great line. And of course, my favorite line is she bitch. When he like tackles or like fights the second Deadite in the movie. That's my favorite line. Let's see here. What else do we got here? Oh, Chad's saying you don't have a sense of humor. So
I just
fuck
have
off, Chad.
I'm sorry, I just have a more mature sense of humor.
Oh,
I
damn,
don't.
Chad.
I really don't. But I don't know. Yeah, Michael said Bruce Campbell is what makes him entertaining, and that is true. He's
Mm-hmm.
easily the best part of all of the movies he's in. And if it wasn't for Bruce Campbell, I probably wouldn't have even finished Army of Darkness. Like I was watching it for him. I wasn't watching it for anything else because I just
Yeah.
did not care about anything else.
Yeah, that is absolutely true. Even though I did kind of like the chemistry between him and the female, I can't remember her name right now. It's just the princess of the movie. She's like, "Well, what about that time? Oh, oh, baby, that's pillow talk." Like, like I just love stuff like that. And then, of course, the ending going, "Give me some sugar, baby." Like, it's just like Ash, like but it's just again, I'm more of the serious, and I appreciate what they tried to do with it to kind of revamp the franchise. But man, thank goodness we got the remake, and thank goodness we got Evil Dead Rise, bring back that dark, serious tone to it. So I'm so looking forward to Evil Dead Rise.
Me too. I can't wait for that.
And then, of course, for the other two movies, again, I want to see Brain Dead, but again, it's hard to find. Even though Mega Movie Cease does say that he thinks it's on HBO Max, I definitely need to double check that because if that's the case, I'm going to watch it quickly. But then, other than that, the finishing, I'm just going to just skip out on that one.
Yeah, I'm definitely not.
Yeah.
You know, I haven't even heard of it, so I'm not jumping to watch it.
So pretty much it could just vanish away. So that's what we're telling you all with the vanishing. You could vanish away. But who can appear in his place is Happy Sanjo. What's going on, Happy Sanjo? See here. So Destiny, did you find anything else from the 90s? Because I only saw things from 93.
No, I did not.
Okay, yeah, so 90s, way to go. And pretty same thing with the 2000s now, because I only found one movie in the 2000s, and that is from 2008. And this is a American remake, I believe from the Japanese version. I want to say it's the Japanese version, but that movie is The Eye. And this one stars Jessica Alba, so that's the only reason why I even decided to tune it or to check out this movie originally. And I thought it was okay. Like those numbers, I absolutely agree with. I might try to give it a rewatch someday, but just not really like in a quickening mood to do so. But it's an interesting concept. I just felt like it could have been executed better. So nothing too great and nothing too bad. Destiny, have you heard about this movie?
I have seen this movie whenever I was a kid, so I don't remember like anything from it except for that she plays the cello, I think. And I remember how she would get water because she was blind, she would like put her finger in the cup and like pour the water until she could feel it.
Ooh.
That's about all I remember from this movie though, was like everything that wasn't the horror stuff because like we owned it whenever I was a kid. So I can't tell you anything but besides, you know, her daily life. I can't remember the movie though. That's
I'll
really
be honest with you. I'm trying to think about it now, and I honestly can't remember either. For some reason, I remembered the trailer more than I do the movie. Like her getting her eyesight events, the stuff happening, and her screaming, "I'm seeing things I shouldn't see," in her most Jessica Alba way. But other than that, yeah, definitely, I'm going to start. I'm going to rewatch this movie now, just because to see if I do remember liking this or not.
and like it's a cool idea, you know.
Hmm.
Obviously it's a remake and whenever I watched this I didn't know it was like a remake or like an American remake of anything. But it is a cool idea to where you get new eyes and then they can see ghosts and stuff. Like that's pretty interesting. It's like when you hear stories about like people who get um transplants from people and they can like feel the people like inside them. So I've heard like a bunch of stories, not like real stories, but like movie
Hmm.
shit like that. To where like if it was like a serial killer and then now they have a part of a serial killer inside of them and it's like taking over shit like that.
Hmm.
Interesting idea.
Yeah, definitely an interesting idea. That's why I gave it a watch originally. Not that during that time I was a Jessica Alba fan. Oh, whom I can, yeah. Again, that's why I checked it out. But definitely want to revisit it. And a quick question about that because we kind of like tackled it a little bit or mentioned it. But this is an American remake. How do you feel about American remakes? Because unfortunately, they're about to do one with the Train to Busan, and I'm not happy about that because that movie is to me perfection, and I know America remake is not going to get it right.
Yeah, you know, like there are some that I think are pretty good, like The Ring. The Ring I think is one of
Hmm.
the better like American remakes of, you know, like any sort of J horror or anything like that.
And that's
But
fair.
like a lot of the times it just doesn't hit the same. And I feel like also a lot of times it is like more cultural type stuff. You know, we usually see like ghost girls and stuff in like Asian horror and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And we'll see that in the same. And I just feel like it almost doesn't hit the same for us as it does for them. And then, you know, with the Train to Busan or whatever it's going to be called for this, it's just like, why? And it's so weird because which The Ring as well. I know like the original Ringu came out, I think it was like the late 90s, and then
Right.
The Ring was 2002, so I think it was only like a 4-year difference, and then we got the American version, and that's pretty similar to this because Train to Busan was like 2017, I think, maybe 2016, and
Mm-hmm.
we're already getting a remake for it that we just don't need. And again,
Nope.
it's like Train to Busan, and they have like all these like their like train system and like is so different from like what we have and stuff. And so I was like, how's that even gonna work? But then they're gonna put it in New York, right? In like the subways or something like that. Because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like that's probably like the closest we have to like what they have. And I was just like, okay. I don't think a lot of times it is necessary. I just think but it's always gonna happen. No matter how
Mm-hmm.
much we don't like it, it's always gonna happen because it's easy money for the most part because you're already taking something that's established with people and then just
Put your damn
Americanizing
American
it.
twist on it.
Like Wreck and Quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Yes.
almost like a shot for shot remake, except for the idea of what it is, or like Funny Games, which I know the guy that did the original also did the American version, which is like interesting too. But it's literally like shot for shot, everything is the same, just an
Mm-hmm.
American version. I don't know. A lot
Yeah.
of times it's just like, just watch the original. I feel like
Mm-hmm.
it's really rare for the remake to be better than the original.
Yeah, exactly. Like again, there's like The Ring is a great example, and I would even throw The Grudge. I saw somebody mention The Grudge in the chat too. That's another great example. And Aaron Click even said, and first off, what's going on, Aaron Click? Let Me In is one of those remakes that's just maybe just as good as the foreign original. Yeah, so
Mhm.
that's fair. It's a hit and miss. It all really just depends. But I just know for a fact. Well, okay, it's not a fact. It's more of an opinion that the Train to Busan one. That one is just. It's just. I gave it a 5 out of 5. I thought it's a golden real freaking perfection of a movie, especially that damn ending. Just I just don't see how America could top that. I really just can't.
Oh my god, my laptop's dying. I don't know where the charger is either.
Uh oh. So So let's see here. I could take a pause and address the chat real quick while you try to
Yeah,
find the
you do
charger.
that. Over the room.
All right, I'll remove you real quick. All right, she's getting just her charger real quick. She'll be right back, I promise. I'm going to address the chat, your all's chat real quick. I saw Danita, what's going on? How are you doing? Thank you for watching on our channel. Thank you so much. So let's see here. What else y'all got talking about here? Happy Sanjo says, I'm one of the few people who just didn't like the Train to Busan, huh? Really? Okay. Let me Happy Sanjo, let's in the chat, explain why. I'm actually really curious about that. Again, I think that's really interesting because I love different opinions. So I would love to hear your opinion on that. And Ashton said The Ring is one of his favorite movies. Gory Tiger, I saw you do what's going on saying, hey Brett, Jeepers Creepers Reborn is favorite movie of all time now. Fuck no, it's not. So sit down, Gory. Sit down. So let's see here. What else y'all got talking about now? Chaz says, because America needs to remake everything as soon as they fucking can. Yeah, again, I don't like that because, again, most of the time it's a cash grab or it's just the American pride of, oh, we could do that better. And I'm just telling you, no, you fucking can. So, unless if you treat it seriously, that'll be like the only like difference to that. But with the Train to Busan one, that's definitely just hopping on the train, no pun intended, of trying to strike gold with this movie. I just don't feel like they can. So let's see here. What else do we got here? I think this is it. Yeah, I didn't hate it, but I'll never watch it again. And you know what? That's fair. If you just at least watch it once, then that's all good in the world. Just if you just give a lot of movies just at least one chance to try to prove it to you. Donita says, I really like Train to Busan, but The Ring is one of the least favorites. And you know what? Don't shoot me, guys. The Ring and The Grudge, I still need to watch. So hopefully I could change that soon and watch those classic 2000s movies that define the horror genre of the 2000s. See here. Ben Grimm says directed by the guy who made the cult segment in VHS 2. Those are still some of the movies I need to watch too, are the VHS series. So I definitely still need to watch those. Let's see here. Shudder was a terrible remake from the original version. See, I've never heard of that one. I thought for a second you were talking about the Shudder app. Kind of like the streaming service for the horror movies. That's why I thought. Oh no, God, I'm stupid. It's Shudder, not you're saying Shutter. So that my bad. So I have not heard of it, but I'll definitely do some research on it to see if it's worth watching. Matthew Baker, what's going on, my friend? Good morning. Good morning, Matthew. Hopefully you're enjoying a good day so far. It's Super Bowl Sunday. So let's see what else we got here. They made a loose. This is Gavin. They made a loose sequel to Train to Busan that didn't even do well. I don't know why they would remake it so soon. Exactly. Like you think they give it a lot more time than like just to give it more time, just like to let people like slowly forget it, if that's even possible. Because my God, again, Train to Busan, such a great damn movie. Again, that third act, I'm telling you, prepare for that third act because you're not gonna like handle it very well. So let's see here. Banger said Chiefs on the train to lose on. Ah, man. Dadgummit. Now, hey, all good, man. You know what? Best of luck to your Philadelphia Eagles. Um, so let's see here. Yes, Mark Jones, you really do need to see the train to Busan. You really absolutely do. Home. Okay. So let's see here. I say The Grudge is worth a watch, but skip the sequels for The Grudge and The Ring Bread. You know what? Duly noted, because I definitely heard those sequels are not something worth watching. Jonathan, what's going on, my friends? Saying the Urban Legend reboot has been canceled. It was going to be an LGBTQ slasher, and you know what? I don't mind that. I don't. It's just again, it's if it's not your cup of tea, just skip it. If you interested in that, great. But again, it's been canceled, so it don't really matter. But Jonathan, thank you so much for hopping on. Want to do a test real quick. Uh, okay. I think she is ready to go. We'll bring her back on. Destiny, are you okay?
I think so.
All right. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. That's great. So we are back. So let's continue on here. Did you have anything from 2000s for horror movie anniversaries?
From 2008, I had Shrooms,
Hmm.
which I had not seen, but I've heard it's really good. So,
uh, was that it from the 2000s?
yeah,
All right, so shrooms it is, guys. So it's pretty. I think it sounds pretty much what it sounds like. It's shrooms, or is it
yeah,
something different?
it's like they go like backpacking or something, and the plants are alive.
Oh God. Okay, you know what? Just for that description alone, I'm adding that to my watch list.
Yeah, I've heard it's actually pretty good. Like everyone that I hear talks about it, they all really enjoy it. And also, it's based off of a book, which I heard the book is actually really good too. So I want to watch it at some point, and I think it is available somewhere streaming, maybe like HBO Max. I know I've seen it.
Okay,
That's what I
well,
know.
okay, so that is shrooms from the and that's 2008 or 2003.
2008 as well.
2008. Great. All right. So we'll go ahead and move on here. Let's see here. We are in the 2013s. We got some movies to go over here. I have one, two, three, four of them. So we'll go ahead and go with the first one. And the first one is Girls Against Boys. This was released on February the 1st of 2013. Not the greatest numbers, but poster kind of looks interesting. And I believe one of the I'm trying to think here, from Friday the 13th, the remake. Pretty much the girl that was dating the Dig boyfriend, Trent. Yeah, that I can't remember the actress's name. So yeah, just that she's in this movie, and so that is Girls Against Boys. So the next one is The Haunting in Connecticut 2, Ghost of Georgia. Was released on February the 1st of 2013. And yeah, again, this is just a sequel to the first Haunting in Connecticut with Kyle Gallner. And I love how it's called Haunting in Connecticut, and we're going to Georgia. So that makes a lot of sense. And then we're going to go to actually one of my personal favorite rom-com movies, and that is Warm Bodies. And holy crap, I love this movie so much. And this also was released on February the 1st of 2013. And this movie is streaming on Peacock right now. And I highly suggest you all watch this, especially around this time of month. Absolutely, you all need to. With Teresa Palmer and Nicholas Hoult. Absolutely give great performances. This movie just has a lot of charm and like ha-has to it. So definitely worth a watch. And then lastly, the movie I have, never really heard of this movie before, and that is Vamp You, which I'm going to assume is vampires, or whom I can. Of course, it's vampires. Vampire flick, and you can watch it on Peacock, Tubi, and Roku right now. So Destiny, you have any thoughts about any of these four movies? Because I remember you watching Warm Bodies for the first time last year, and I remember you really enjoying this flick.
Yeah, Warm Bodies is the only one out of all of those that I've seen. And I really did enjoy Warm Bodies so much. It was so much like better than I thought it was gonna be whenever I watched it. So I really enjoyed that one. Vamp You, never heard of it. The Haunting in Connecticut too, when they're in Georgia, that's so fucking stupid. Like, it's in the title. What do you mean they're in Georgia? But yeah, I haven't seen the rest, but Warm Bodies is definitely, you know, the best one. And probably one of my favorite movies out of this, like out of all the movies we've mentioned. Warm Bodies was
Mhm.
so good. Just so much better than I was expecting it to be.
Oh, I 110% agree on that, and that's why it's one of the poll questions is which is your favorite movie of like the movies we're talking about today. And I haven't looked at the results, but if Warm Bodies does not win, I don't know what's going on because I absolutely love that movie, and I plan on watching it here real soon. Let's see here. Oh, hello there, Jamie. What's going on there? How are you doing? Let's see here. Anything else from the chat? Just checking the chat real quick. Matthew says Warm Bodies was cute as fuck. Absolutely agree. It just has like a charm to it where you can't just help but have a great time with it.
I
And
agree.
then Jamie says Warm Bodies was adorable. Aaron Click has never seen Warm Bodies. Doesn't look appealing. Looks a bit too romantic or teeny bop to me. Aaron, still watch it because again, it's a comedy movie too, and you're gonna laugh at the jokes in this movie as well. So I still highly suggest it to you. So let's see here. I think. Oh, and Rosie says, "Who cares what Vamp U is about? Look at those boobies." Oh my god! Of course you would freaking look at that, Rosie. You behave yourself in the chat. So Destiny, anything else about like Vamp U? Or I know we made fun of Haunting Connecticut, makes no fucking sense. But anything about Vamp U or Girls Against Boys?
Have not even heard of. Well, I haven't heard of either. So I'm not,
Not
you
even gonna
know.
nothing to comment for. You know what? I agree with you
mm,
because I have nothing to comment against those. Even though again, Girls Against Boys, it has the girl from Friday the 13th remake in it. So I guess if you're a fan of hers, watch it. Other than that, I got nothing for you. And thank you. Yeah, again, like Rosie says, the poster's the only like good thing about it. But hey, if you're up for it, go for it. So let's see here. Checking the chat. Oh my gosh, Rosie, yeah, you definitely behave yourself. And then, did you find anything else from 2013?
The movie Dark Skies, which I remember seeing a little bit of it. I don't think I ever saw the full movie, but I do remember one scene in particular from like the trailer and stuff like that. And a girl at work, she always talks about it. She says she really enjoys it. So I do want to watch it at some point, like in its entirety, because I can't remember if I've seen it all or not because it's been so long. Because I probably saw it the year it came out. But yeah, Dark Skies.
Hell yeah. So,
Really cool.
Dark Skies. Let me check the. Oh, and the Jesus custom footwear. What's going on, my friend? Hopefully, you are doing good today.
Hi.
And Jamie likes Dark Skies too, so I'm definitely going to have to add that now. So awesome.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Let's go to 2018. Yeah, definitely has two movies found very curious about. I wanted to hear people in the chat or Destiny if you see any of these two movies. I'd love to hear your opinion as well on these. But let's go ahead and get the shit out of the way. Hellraiser Judgment. I have not seen anything of Hellraiser other than the original and the 2022 movie. But once you start taking out Doug Bradley as Pinhead, I really honestly have nothing for you on that, with the exception of 2022, because that girl just knocks it out the park. But that is Hellraiser Judgment. And then the next one, this movie had a lot of popularity on Netflix, and that is The Ritual. Dave McCrae is actually a real big fan of this movie as well. This was released on February the 9th of 2018. And again, this is on Netflix. I heard it's a really, really creepy tone atmospheric movie. And then the last movie, definitely here's this is one of the good like sci-fi horror movies, and that is Annihilation. I believe this movie has Natalie Portman in it, so that's always a plus when you have her. Was released on February the 23rd of 2018, and it is on Paramount Plus right now if you are interested in this movie. So, Destiny, any thoughts on Hellraiser, The Ritual, and Annihilation?
Well, I've only seen um The Ritual out of those three, which The Ritual I think because it's also so I think it did festival rounds 2017 and then 2018 is maybe when it got like added to Netflix or something
Mm-hmm.
because I just remember it being 2017 I think whenever I watched it. I can't remember, but I've only seen it that one time. And I just like we are trying to just find something on Netflix to watch, and so I knew nothing about it going in, and I just like watched it, and I really enjoyed it. I want to rewatch it because there's a lot that I just don't remember exactly, but it's sort of like The Descent, but with all men. And I know some people compare
Okay.
that to like The Thing being like how it's just like all men cast going through stuff, but to me this feels more like The Descent because they're not in caves or anything, but they're out in like maybe it's in like Ireland or somewhere. They're like going through like the forest and stuff and like all the greenery and they're like walking through and then some weird shit happens and there's like a lot of stuff with like trauma from like a friend and stuff like that and the ending is just crazy. So I definitely want to rewatch it because I remember like key moments of the movie, but I don't remember the movie in its like entirety. But I do remember it being very good. The end gets really wild and really like out there and I remember liking the characters a lot because they felt like real people.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely recommend The Ritual. I do want to watch Annihilation. I did see that it was streaming because I was trying to find something to watch the other night. And then I ended up watching Bob's Burgers because I was starting to fall asleep. So I didn't want to put on a movie. And I definitely want to watch this whenever I just like feel like I'm in the mood to because like
Mm-hmm.
I'm really weird when it comes to like more of like spacey type movies. And I know this
Pretty
is
much, it's like the sci-fi genre, right?
yeah, like I'm just not a huge like sci-fi person. So it's definitely one that I want to watch just whenever I'm in the mood for it. I do know like the movie's also like kind of long too. So I'm like, oh man. But some of the visuals from it that I've seen, because I remember seeing like the trailer when it came out and just seeing the visuals for it, I was like, okay, that actually looks like pretty interesting. I think there has something to do with like a bear or something. So I want to watch it at some point. And like you said, Natalie Portman's in it, so that is a plus. Will you get out of here? Go. Oh my god.
Man, yeah, I definitely heard a lot about that with Annihilation, so I definitely want to watch it. So right there with you on that, and it's on Paramount Plus, so I might try to borrow Brad's Paramount. Don't tell Paramount that I'm gonna definitely watch it because definitely heard it was one of the better like horror sci-fi horror movies out there, and the sci-fi horror movies are pretty much like a pick and choose kind of situation, whether they're really going to land or they're really not going to land. And I feel like Annihilation is one of those ones I feel like that has a lot of potential to land. So hopefully it does that for me. And then The Ritual, always wanted to see The Ritual. It's definitely high on my watch list, and I definitely want to watch that soon as well. And any thoughts about Punisher, real quick, or just say fuck it with no Doug Bradley?
I'm not. Yeah, no. I'm just like I love the first Hellraiser. Didn't really care for the second one, and I thought the 2022 one was okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not in a rush to watch the Hellraiser movies. I want to watch three because I've heard the third one is pretty good. But really after part three, like I don't care. I just don't care.
Mm.
When they start to become like movies that weren't Hellraiser movies, but they just threw in Cenobites to make it one, it's just
No.
time to let it die, I think. So,
Mhm. Yeah,
yeah.
I definitely agree with that. Just because I heard like after two, or even if you include two, that they just go downhill from there. With exception of 2022, because again, I definitely liked it for what it is, but I kind of agree with you. Just to me, it felt too clean. And then when it's a Hellraiser movie, you want it to be dark and gritty and nasty, and I just never. I got that at times, but I feel like it could have gone a lot darker with it. So those are my quick thoughts on 2022 and Judgment. It can go away. So I have no other thoughts about Judgment.
Yeah, no, I'm good. I agree. I thought 2022 could have been a lot more darker and like grosser, and it just felt so vanilla, like just so safe, really.
Mm-hmm.
There was like barely any sex, and I was like, whoa, what are they doing? And when it was just so boring. I was like, okay, this is not at all like the first Hellraiser. Given the characters are way different, but still, I was just like, this is Hellraiser. Like, where is like the lust and like the yearning? I didn't feel any of that. I was like, all right,
Mm-hmm.
well, you know, it was all right.
It was all right. Like if the sex is bad, you need to go away from it. So
Yeah.
there you go. Let's get some quick comments real quick. Mud Nelson says the ritual is pretty good. Excellent. I love to hear that. Um, let's see here. What else? Da, da, da. Oh, and he also says, "Watch Hellraiser 3. It's the best one." Oh, dude, those are some bold words. I love the first one. So let's see here. What else? Da, da, da. Oh yeah, Matthew Baker. We are going to get to 2022 here in just a little bit. Try to see what else. Like, if there's any other movies here. Oh, Ben Grimm says Hellraiser Judgment was shot near my town. Could have been an extra. Could have been an extra, but had to work. Not the best movie, but would be cool to say I was in a Hellraiser. Dude, I absolutely agree with that. Like, even if it's like the worst Hellraiser movie, I still get to say like, hey, I was in that movie and possibly earn like a penny per month or something due to being in the movie. So let's see here. Anything else in the comic session? Or you guys, let's see here. Oh, chat's got a question for you, Des, real quick. Des, what was the one film you were telling me about? I can never remember the name, but it was at a radio station or something.
Are you talking about Pontypool? Because that one's at like a radio station.
Hmm.
Because I
I thought he was just.
oh, there's Pontypool at a radio station, and there's also 10 minutes till midnight. That one also is at a radio station. Those are the only two I can think of though that are a radio station.
Oh, I was going to be a smart ass and say Halloween Ends, but
No,
no,
no, not that
no,
one.
no. Yeah, I was like, I'm all burnt out on that. So no more Halloween talk for a little bit. But yeah, Chad, let us know if Destiny marked those. Oh, wait a minute, I think this is it.
Haunted Hill.
Pontypool. Yeah, there it
Haunted
is.
Hill.
And isn't that a zombie movie?
Yeah, they're not like exactly. I mean, like if you're gonna put it in a category, it would be like zombie, but they're still not zombies per se. And it's a really interesting movie. Like it's a really interesting concept, something I'd never seen before. So I definitely recommend it. It's pretty good. I liked it. And it's like a snowy setting, even though you don't really see the
Ooh.
snow that much. Like the
Oh,
snow's there for like a little bit, but it is like a cold time, isolated horror movie. So definitely a good one to add for when it gets colder outside again.
hell yeah. So there's an extra for you one chat and for everybody else in the chat. So especially around the winter season. So definitely add that to your watch list because I'm definitely going to. Even though you got me excited for the snow stuff, I love a snow setting. But when you say it doesn't focus on as much with the snow, kind of made me sad there. So
No, I don't think you really see snow at all. Maybe in the very opening, you just know it's cold and they're stuck at this radio station, and it's just like so crazy. Just such like the whole idea of it and like what's actually going on is like, what the heck? It's something I've just had never seen before in a movie. And it's from like the 2000s. I think like 2008 is when it came out, or maybe like 2007. So like later 2000s. But yeah, it's pretty good, pretty interesting.
there you go. So that is that movie. And Desi, did you have anything else from 2018?
I had a couple the Winchester movie. Don't know if you've ever seen that. I've seen that one.
Is
It's
that
about like
based
the
off the
Winchester house.
Supernatural?
Huh?
Is that the Supernatural like standalone movie or that I've heard about?
No.
Or okay, completely different.
Well, I don't think so. I mean, I've never seen Supernatural, but it's about the Winchester house. Like the house, I think it was Sarah Winchester. She like lived in this house and every day would like change up the house and stuff like that, like always adding rooms and taking stuff away. And you can actually go visit this house. And it's
Oh,
thought to
okay.
believe that she was doing that to like keep the spirits away from her because her family, they're the Winchesters, so like the Winchester guns and stuff like that were used like during the wars and shit. And so she thought that, all the people that died from that would like come back and haunt her. And so she was like constantly changing her house to like keep them away or like whatever. But they
Huh.
made it into a movie. The guy that plays the dad in the Pet Cemetery remake, he's in it. I only saw it once. I don't remember it being that good, but the whole story of like Sarah Winchester is interesting. So, you know, it's all right, I guess.
Yeah, definitely not the Supernatural that I was thinking of, the TV show with the Winchesters and all that. So my mind just went completely out there. But that sounds like a really cool concept, like switching up the house, like just to kind of like fight off the spirits. That's definitely sounds like right up my alley when it comes to a movie.
Yeah, and then I also have the Cloverfield paradox because I do remember it was on Super Bowl Sunday that they had played a trailer or something for it, and then the movie like this is I think it was like after the Super Bowl. I remember there was like a trailer and no one knew that it was like a Cloverfield movie. And then they're like watching it. It was like a surprise like Cloverfield movie. And I mean, I've only seen the first Cloverfield movie, and I haven't heard great things about Paradox. But I think the whole when it came out was pretty interesting with like the Super Bowl and stuff like that.
Hmm.
So that was cool, but I haven't seen it yet.
Okay. Yeah, and I do remember that Super Bowl commercial. I was like, oh, damn it, they doing another one? Like, I was like, just we're like two is enough. Like two is enough with that particular series. So like, so I should say I didn't pay much ever attention to that particular movie with Paradox. Did you have anything else?
No, that's it.
Alrighty. So, and I saw, where did your comment go? There he is. Evil Alex, what's going on, my friend? Thank you for joining us. We're about to hit the last stages of this particular episode, and that is the 2022. So, last year's some horror movies. So, let's go ahead and go with the first one. And that is The Long Night. That is a Shudder exclusive. And this has Scout Taylor Compton. So if you are a fan of Scout Taylor Compton, I do recommend you at least giving this movie a try. Wasn't the best, but I appreciate Scout Taylor Compton. I love her so much. So she's definitely worth trying any movie. The next movie is The Cursed. This movie had a short release at the theater. So there's that one. Came out on February the 18th. And then here we go. One of the most decisive movies of last year, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022, that released on Netflix. Holy crap, was there a freaking war on Facebook about this movie? Absolutely sucked. This movie was absolutely awesome. Like, holy crap, like so much toxicity that hit the freaking internet when this movie came out. It was freaking ridiculous at one point. So we're getting ready. We'll talk about this movie here in a minute. Then we also have Hellbender that came out on Shudder on February 24th of 2022. I understand it went the film festival circuit in the 2021, but it gained a lot of that popularity. But the big number here is the critics gave it a 97. That is really, really rare for Rotten Tomato critics to give a movie like this a 97 on Rotten Tomatoes. So I thought that was really damn interesting. And then the last movie, this is the movie I had Destiny watch for her first time watch. And I got to saw this in the theater and then had a really good time with it. And that is Studio 666. The fans really enjoyed this. Critics, not so much, but this movie is not really for the critics, so screw them. Mediocre numbers all around. So, Destiny, we'll just save the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Hellbender, Studio 666 for last. So, any thoughts, real quick, about The Long Night and The Cursed?
I never watched The Cursed, so nothing to say about that. But The Long Night, like, yeah, it really wasn't that great. I think Scout does great in it. There's a lot of like cool visuals for it too. Like, there's a lot of like, I don't know like what the word is. Not like cosmic horror or anything like that, but it was just like really weird and out there, which I liked. I just don't think it made a lot of sense really. And
Mm-hmm.
like I was never really fully sure like what the story was. Like we were seeing a bunch of stuff and like what is it what's going on though? And there's like a lot of it where they're just like standing there and they're in the house and they're like pointing and shit like that. Like there's a lot of that. But it wasn't that great. But it was like, has some cool visuals. I think Scout does a great job in it. The movie itself just was a little bit underwhelming. And the
Mm-hmm.
poster for it reminds me so much of Wrong Turn
Yes.
2021.
Mm-hmm.
Like as soon as I saw a poster for that, I'm like, oh my god, that looks like the Foundation. And in a way, I mean, they're not like the Foundation, but they are sort of like a cult sort of thing going on. So for like a cult movie, because I want to watch cult movies. That's like a genre that I really want to get more into. I thought it was like okay, not that great, but
Mm-hmm.
oh well.
Yeah, and you can just tell Scout Taylor Compton did her best. I tried to make the movie at least watchable, and I would say again, if you're a fan of hers, definitely give it a watch. But other than that, just cool camera tricks every now and then. They had like one cut like with the camera that looked pretty impressive. But other than that, it's just blah. And then the Cursed, I just hear it's good in its own way. Rosie says that she needs to check it out herself. So I'll check it out when I can. I'm not in no rush for that. So let's go ahead and talk about the movie I made you watch, and that's Studio 666. So what were your thoughts on your first watch of Studio 666?
This is one that I've been wanting to watch since it came out. I don't think it was showing in theaters near me, but I really wanted to go see it. I'm like a casual Foo Fighters fan. Like I'm not like I haven't listened to every song, that they've done, but I've heard quite a few songs just from, growing up and stuff like that. And I thought it was a lot of fun. Like it's really cheesy, but like that's what they were going for. Like it's just really like slapstick almost and just like schlocky. Like it's just a fun time, like a possession demon movie, but it's really campy and over the top and they know that. And it's just really cool because, Taylor passed away not that long after this came out. And so
Mhm.
I was just like, oh wow, like that's really weird, like they just made a movie and it just came out and then he passed away not too long after that. So like watching it did make me like sad in that sense, like seeing him, I was like, oh man, this really sucks because that was really upsetting whenever, he passed away. But the movie itself is good and I'm glad that they made this because like of course there's like concerts and there's interviews and there's stuff out there of him like, from just the years, but like we got to see him like in this Foo Fighters horror movie, and now we will always have that from him. So I think it was really cool that they were able to do this before everything happened.
Yeah, it was really cool. Just to have the original members and all that, just make a movie together and have a good time with it. And you could tell they were having a really, really good time with this. My only gripe with the movie was just how what they did with Jenna Ortega in this movie. Because like, come on, like again, in defense to them, during that particular time, she wasn't as big as she is now. So I totally understand that. Like, but dadgummit, like I felt like they really could have used her like better in this movie. That was my only real gripe with it. And the ending had like three different like kind of ways like they could have ended the movie there. And I was just sitting there like, when's this movie gonna end? Like, have they decided which one they're gonna go with? So I didn't know if you
Yeah,
noticed that. Like they could have ended it like three different times.
I thought the movie was a little bit long. It definitely did not need to
Hmm.
be as long as it was. It was like 108 minutes. So it was like an hour and like what, like almost 50 minutes, something like that.
Or somewhere around there.
Yeah, like that's kind of a long movie for something that's like not, like not it doesn't really need to be that long. Some of it could have definitely been
Right.
like cut out. And like you said with Jenna Ortega, which going into it, I knew she wasn't in it that much because I remember seeing her in the trailer for like a split second. So I was like, okay, And it is really interesting to like think about how last year we went into 2022 and you see her in like this movie and she's barely in it and then like the way we ended last year with her being like huge now. So it is
Mhm.
really interesting to see her in this movie for like a few minutes in total compared to,
Right.
now it would not be like that because then Scream came out. Well, Scream also came out in January, so like right before this, but
Yeah, but she didn't get that fire until like she didn't get that fire though at that time. It was really what really did it was X and Wednesday. Wednesday definitely solidified it, but X really
yeah,
just showed like, hey, there's something special with this girl. We just don't know
yeah.
exactly what.
I think it was X for like more like the horror fans and stuff. Which I mean, she was in, of course, she was in like Insidious too, but very
Hmm.
small role. She plays like a little girl in that, and then
And she was in You.
Babysitter 2, Queen, You season 2. So she's been around in like horror stuff here and there for like a little bit, but I definitely think X is like what really like, put her more on the map. And then of course Wednesday, I think that put her on the map for like just general audience, like
Hmm.
for everyone, because Wednesday is not specifically just horror. Like a lot of people just love the Addams Family, so I think Wednesday definitely, is like everyone look at her.
Yes, a man or people looking at her and looking forward to Scream 6 coming out not too long, not too much longer to wait, guys. So, Destiny, to finish up Studio 666, what would you rate it?
I gave it a 3 out of 5.
That's a fair rating. Like it went like originally I gave it a 4 out of 5, but I was on the hype train, all that. But like looking back at it, I think I reduced it down to like a 3.5. Like I just
Yeah.
had like I could just tell like I'm one of those people where if the cast is having a really damn good time, I can't help but have a good time with them just because like they're not treating it as seriously and it's not one of those movies you do that. So Foo Fighters, great job for making a fun movie.
Yeah, definitely. It just looked like it was a blast, and I heard like Dave Grohl talk about the movie and like the hot ones on YouTube. Was on there, and so like I watched that. And he was like talking about the movie and like how much fun it was and stuff to shoot for everyone. And so it looked like they were just having a good time. And I love whenever you have horror movies that also deal with music. And that can like mean like different things. Like I know Mud, we love Deathgasm. That's a movie that deals with like rock music, but in a different way than Studio 6666666. Say they would like Trick or Treat, stuff like that. Even Hellbender. Hellbender, there's a lot of music too. They play music, so I love movies that it like incorporates some sort of rock music into the movie itself. I always
Mhm.
love that.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's actually a nice segue. But before we get to that segue, I want to say hello to Chase from Most Movie Reviews. How you doing, Chase?
Hey Chase.
And then, so yeah, nice segue there. Hellbender, because I remember you being really high on this movie after your first watch of it. So, what are are your thoughts still the same after a year later? What are your thoughts about Hellbender?
Yeah, I said Warm Bodies is probably my favorite out of all the movies, but Hellbender. Hellbender is my favorite out of all the movies we've talked about because I remember just like watching this. It got added to Shudder, and I was like, "Oh, this looks like pretty interesting." And then I watched it, and I was like, "Whoa!" Like it's so weird, and it's really like a small, contained story, and it's like a witchcraft like movie, but it's not like a secret that they're witches or anything. Like you know that they are, and it's mother and daughter, and just like it's like a coming of age witchcraft type movie, but it's really just them two for a good portion of the movie. And they play mother and daughter, and they are real life mother and daughter. It's like this family. They're called the Adams family. They make movies and stuff together, which is so fucking cool. Like, that is such a cool family. I would love to be a part of it if they would let me in. And it just looks like so much fun, and it's really visually like crazy and like trippy, and it's almost as if they're fucking like tripping on shrooms or something and they're eating like earthworms and stuff and it gets like really weird and that's what I loved about it, that like visually it got so just out there. So yeah, Hellbender. Really cool movie. They showed it on the last drive-in. They had the
Mhm.
family on there as well. So that was really cool. But yeah, weird movie, but I really like it.
Yeah, and
And
I
it
like.
almost made my top 10. It almost made my top 10 of the year. It was like number 11 or 12, so it was like almost there.
Just that close, thank gummit. But you know what? I agree with you. This movie is actually one of the better, like witch, kind of like witchy vibe movies. And I'm not the biggest witchy vibe person, but this one just kind of hit me different for some reason. Because especially after learning about the mother daughter, like acting in this movie together, chemistry should not be an issue. Which I thought their chemistry was fantastic. Do love like the music aspect behind everything. Again, kind of shows like how close they are together as a mother and a daughter. I thought that's excellent. Just towards the end, though, like, I agree visually it looked fantastic, but kind of like with the story, it kind of got a little messy with me, or it kind of put me off a little bit. That's why it kind of goes down for me. But other than that, I really enjoyed Hellbender. It definitely should have gotten more votes, in my opinion, for a Shudder Movie of the Year at the Real Horror Awards.
I agree. Maybe enough people just didn't watch it.
Hmm.
Because I feel
That's
like
what I
it
want to
wasn't
think.
talked about that much. Like, I remember seeing it, maybe it was that day that it got added to Shutter. Because I remember I was at work and we were like really slow, so I took like a really long break. And so I was watching that whenever I was on my break. And I'm pretty sure like I watched it all just sitting there on break. And I was just like, whoa, this is so weird. And then like, I talked about it a little bit like on Twitter and stuff, but I didn't really see that many people talking about it. So maybe more people just need to watch it because it's just and like just for like how small like the crew is and everything and how much like work went into it and like this family like doing it and stuff like that's just so amazing. And they have a new movie coming out. I do not remember what it's called, but I kept seeing it on Twitter because they were talking about the Adams family. And so, whatever the movie is, I'm definitely going to check it out because I want to watch more of their stuff because they just seem so cool. Such a
Mhm.
cool family.
Hell yeah! So definitely keep an eye on for that. And if you've not seen Hellbender, we both suggest you all definitely to give it a watch. And it's on Shudder right now, so we know most of you have Shudder, so no excuses. Put it on your watch list and watch it on a good day. And then lastly, our last movie we will talk about, and Ben Grimm has the perfect comment for this. 666 was a lot of fun, great kills, better chainsaw kill than Texas Chainsaw Massacre, which absolutely I did remember that scene. I thought that made me chuckle. But yeah, let's get to it. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. What are your thoughts about the lovely, most diverse of movie, one of the most diverse of movies of 2022 in Texas Chainsaw Massacre?
This is the movie I was talking about, where the movie is not good, but it's at least entertaining. And I feel like that's exactly just what this movie is. Like, it was not very good. It was a little bit cringy at times, but it was at least fun. It's a turn off your brain, have some popcorn, maybe get a group of friends together, have some drinks or whatever, and just have a fun time making fun of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good way to describe it. I need to do that. I guess I'll suffer myself through it one more time, but at least like kind of like you said, turn the brain off and just to see if that makes a difference. But just thinking back at it, like some of the kills in this movie were actually really darn good, especially the hospital or like the ambulance, like where he breaks the wrist and uses the wrist bone and this absolutely amazing. Love that one. Just the big grip I have with this movie is just the use of a legacy character in Sally. I'm not the biggest Sally fan to begin with, but at least I respect her enough where a lot of people treat her like a nice, awesome final girl in the history of the horror genre. But and to bring her back and to treat her the way they did, it's not the same actress, so it's not as big of a deal, but still the legacy behind the character and what she did for that franchise to me felt very disrespectful. I didn't know if you had that problem or you just thought it was like that, all that was just fine.
No, because like you can definitely tell like they're cashing in on like the Halloween 2018,
Mm-hmm.
requel, bringing back like the main character, and like you said, it's not Sally or Marilyn Burns. She passed away unfortunately. So you do have like a new actress playing her. I do think they could have scrapped all the Sally stuff because
Mm-hmm.
again, it's like in Halloween 2018, and even kills. You have like Lori and like he came for me. But it's like, no, that's not what's going on. And it's the same thing for this. Like, Leatherface isn't stalking her and isn't hunting her out. She comes to him and then does nothing really. Like,
Mm-hmm.
it's the whole time, like leading up to this movie, you at least think we're gonna get like this crazy showdown. And it lasts for like 2 seconds and then she's thrown to the garbage just laying there. So it was not necessary like at all. I think it would have been better and it wouldn't have pissed so many people off if they just did not bring that character back at all because like we don't need her. That could have been literally anyone else that like steps in towards the end and helps save them, which she doesn't. So that could have literally just been any other character. Because I do agree, like I think the way they handled her character was like shitty and it was just like this is not the same, Sally as the original Sally.
Mm-hmm.
Towards the end, that Sally of the original, you really think she's gonna stay there and like stay near where all that happened and like
And
live
become an officer
in
of the
peace?
law.
You think she's gonna do that? Like, no, I don't think so. Um, yeah, the Sally thing is no, it's just not good. But like the rest of the movie, if you just want to have like a fun time, just like watch something bad. For me, this is how I feel about Final Destination 4. Final Destination 4 is so bad. It is awful, but I can have a fun time like hate watching it. Even though like I don't hate
Mm-hmm.
it, but it's like that same feeling like just watching something you know is awful and it's gonna probably like put you in a better mood. That's how I feel about this movie. I almost put it on the other day because I needed something just to make me laugh. Maybe I'll watch it today, actually. I don't know. That's weird. I never thought I would really want to rewatch this movie, but I kind of do.
Hey, you know what? You just need movies like that, and that's actually a really great comparison of Final Destination 4 and this movie of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, because we do need our movies like that where like it's so bad, but it's fun to watch. It's just to point out with how bad it is. Even though
Yeah, and it's
for
not
some
it's
reason,
not
oh,
it's so bad it's good. I'm not saying
mhm.
that. It's just so bad. It's like watching like a car crash. Like it's so bad that you just can't look away. That's how I feel like these movies are. It's so bad, but you can't just help but just like watch and be like, wow, they really made this. So that's how I feel like this movie is.
Yeah,
But
especially
sometimes you
with
do
Alexandra
need
Aja, like where did this come from? Like,
what the fuck happened?
yeah, like, God, my, that's
And
I'm
you know
glad
what?
this movie.
I think this movie it could have been worse, honestly.
Hmm.
It could have
I
been
agree.
worse. I remember the first director like got fired like weeks into it or something because I remember hearing about the movie when it was first being like talked about. You know, we're gonna have like an older like Leatherface, and people are gonna be like, okay, so this is like Halloween 2018, and it was. But I remember like so many like production issues and it being like paused, and of course we had COVID, and like it's shot well and I think it has great cinematography. I don't think it feels as hot as Texas really is. Like it should have been more yellow and it should have been more like sweaty and like visibly
Hmm.
hot. But I do think it has great cinematography, has some really cool lighting, especially in like the bus scene with all the blue lights and stuff.
Yes.
Great kills, a somewhat surprising ending, and then the very, very end was pretty cool. So
Hmm.
I think it has like some positives. That's just not the story,
Yeah,
really. Anything else
definitely
though?
not the story.
No, not the story. And Hot Cowboy.
Oh, are you talking about? Wait, hot cap. Are you talking about like the one that like Leatherface bust up his leg?
Yeah, Richter.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
You now you're just gonna think about. Okay, yeah, I could just definitely tell right now you're definitely gonna watch this movie later. I just know you.
I think I should.
You
If
know
my
what? Do
TV
it.
wasn't.
Do it for the celebration of this episode and all that. Yeah, I feel like you should just do it. So let's see here. I want to check out the comic session and then see here. Chris, what's going on, man? Say, I hate Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2022. Kills are fun, blood is fun, story and characters. Which yeah, I agree with the story and the character stuff. Like, I agree with that, but I didn't hate it. Like I'm starting to come around to it again. I need to rewatch it myself. Because like I don't think it's as bad as a lot of people for it to be. It's just again that damn internet like really killed this movie right before it had a chance to try anything. So let's see
Mhm.
here. Anything else? Uh could have made it a sequel to Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake and bring back Jessica Biel would be better. Could have maybe, but I feel like her story kind of like wrapped up towards the end of that movie too. And plus, I good luck trying to buy her way back into Texas Chainsaw Massacre because she would be
I'm
asking a
like,
lot of movie
I
or
don't know.
money.
I'm kind of over like bringing back, characters like, you know, ignoring this, doing a requel, bringing back, like, I'm kind of over them doing that. Unless it's Kirby with Scream 6, that's different.
Hmm.
But I am kind of over them, like, going so long and then just bringing someone back. I mean, like, let's do a new movie. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No, I know exactly what you mean. Like it's like let's just do something different and get Texas Chainsaw Massacre right because they were on the right point after the first movie. It's just I don't know what the hell happened afterwards. And I understand a lot of people love the second one. I just can't get into the second one. I just don't know what it is behind that second one. I just cannot get into it.
It's definitely silly.
Yeah.
And that
Oh,
is a silly movie that I do like. Actually, I do enjoy the second one, which I've only seen it maybe twice. So I haven't seen 3 or 4. I I want to. I'm just not in a hurry. But I think those are the only two. Oh, Leatherface. I have not seen Leatherface, which that one
don't,
I'm not rushing to watch at all.
don't.
I
It's the
want
only
to
movie
just
that
to
put me
watch
asleep in
him,
10 minutes.
but I don't want to. And I already know the twist of Leatherface, which is so fucking stupid.
Yeah, you can predict it
But
in the first
whatever.
10 minutes of the movie. Like, not hard.
Yeah.
So let me get some last comments here. Rosie says, "Giddy up, cowboy." Rosie, behave yourself in the chat. Like, come on. Nah, I'm just kidding. Love Rosie. Evan, we'll get these here. Des is going to watch it right after the show, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and Chris agrees that turn the lights off and watch it. So there you go. You got people saying watch the movie.
Wow. Maybe. I know I'm gonna get off here and be like, I'm just gonna keep watching Bob's Burgers. That's all I've watched for like the past week, really.
Well, there you go. So did you have anything else for 2022 before we log off?
I believe that was nope, that was it.
All right, great. And before we get going here, I did create the best and worst of the movies we talked about today. So let's start off with the worst. Oh my gosh, I loaded the. Well, of course, yours truly forgot to change the freaking. Yep, dumbass me. That's over two for me. I promise you, third time's going to be the charm in March. So pretend that says February and it's just not confused with my fuck up there. The worst of February on Rotten Tomatoes from the critics, it is The Haunting of Connecticut, and from the fans, it's The Long Night. Long Night, same thing with IMDb, and then the letterbox, most people hated Hellraiser Judgment. Definitely well-deserved movies. I wish, again, Long Night kind of got a little bit more love, but I totally understand it. And then let's see here, the best of February, Hellbender from the critics of Rotten Tomatoes, Army of Darkness and Brain Dead tied at 87 from the fans on Rotten Tomatoes, and then Brain Dead definitely dominates the rest of IMDb. Letterbox even tied again, surprisingly enough. Eraserhead got a lot of love on Letterbox, 3.9 out of 5. So those are the best and worst of February. So Destiny, any ever thoughts about the movies we've talked about today, and just to kind of like also what's coming up on your channel? Do you have anything going on?
Like I said, I think Hellbender is definitely my favorite out of all the ones mentioned. I can't tell you my least favorite because I haven't watched the worst, that are on there. Don't plan on it either. Um, Coming up, Fear Freaks on Wednesday. I'm not sure what we're talking about. We haven't decided yet. And then Thursday, I will be on Matt's channel and we will be watching Snakes on a Plane. It'll be Matt's first
Yes.
time. So that's one of my favorites. So I'm really excited to do that because I love Snakes on a Plane. I'm so excited to watch it again. I've been wanting to and I keep waiting so I
And
can watch it
wait.
for the show.
Yeah, I cannot wait for you to show the love that is Snakes on a Plane to Matt. I feel like that movie is going to make Matt's really going to love the movie. I just can tell, and definitely once again make sure he watches the end credits. Like, don't have him shut it off or anything because those end credits are everything too.
Oh, and yeah, we're watching that full music video.
Absolutely, you need to. And then coming up on Good Will Hunting, tomorrow we are going to be doing the live interactive review for Scream 2. That will be tomorrow at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. I'm also doing the Spider-Man podcast with Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantum Mania. We're doing that prediction show tomorrow over on Braden's channel at 7 o'clock Eastern Time. And then we're going to be dropping our Scream 2 trivia video on Tuesday, which, Destiny, you still need to do the first trivia one with Scream 1. I'll send you a link for that one because I want to see if you can pass. And then no show Thursday, but Friday we are doing a watch party. I'm pretty sure it's on the Big Lebowski. Hopefully I got that right. I'm pretty sure that's right, but that is Kyle Curtis Flett's Patreon request to do that watch party with us. So he's going to be joining us, and that'll be this Friday, I believe at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. And we got much more coming up, but I'm not going to waste any more time on that. So want to address these two super chats. You guys are awesome for doing this. You didn't have to, but I appreciate it. Cody Snyder says, "Happy weekend to my beautiful lunatics." Thank you so much, Cody. And then Matthew Baker just giving $5. Thank you so much, Matt, for that. And I don't have those clips on this one, so if you don't mind to change the background real quick to this, and so let them play a video for him.
I'd buy that for $1.
So there you go, guys. Thank you, Matt, and thank you, Cody. And also, thank you so much for everybody else for making this episode Back from the Dead awesome. I saw at one point. Let me get the poll real quick. Thank you, Chris. Let me end that poll. Let's see here. Where did my... Come on. Where's the poll? Where's the poll? Where's the poll? I gotta love YouTube Studios sometimes. There it is. Out of 29 votes, 68% voted Army of Darkness as their favorite movie we've talked about today. 13% on Warm Bodies, and also Brain Dead and Dead or Alive, 13%, and Annihilation, 3%. Wow. Yeah, I agree. Warm Bodies definitely need more love on that one. So, okay. Destiny, anything else? And then we'll log out.
You know who really likes The Big Lebowski?
Who does?
Joseph Quinn.
Oh, you got... Oh, my. Okay, so if you could talk to Joseph Quinn and have him come on Good Will Hunting, we'd be happy to have him on. I know you got a direct line for him.
Oh, yeah, we talk all the time.
Well, hey, at least not yet. Soon, Destiny, soon. So, but anyways, guys, thank you all so much for an also great episode of Back from the Dead. Destiny, thank you for taking time out of your day to continue doing this show with me. And we are going to go ahead and log off, and we will see you guys in March. And Destiny, just to give you a hint, there's one of your top 3 all-time favorite movies next month.
Pray at Night.
Yep, Pray at Night. So that'll be next month. And yep, so we're go ahead and prepare for that. And until then, we will see you all in March.